Hey guys, so which do you choose? Deal hunters or strategists? Look, one of the interesting things that I find is, I've always been about strategy. You get your strategy up and running first. You really focus in on what you want. That strategy has to meet the market, and it's a very methodical process. It's almost like a scientific approach to property investment, which is what I've always sort of been. I've always been interested in science and maths and engineering and all that sort of stuff. And so the whole process of me investing has become, a fascination, a passion with how do you invest so you make money all the time. And I think, and that doesn't mean you make huge, big money all the time and property just like that. It doesn't. In fact, for the most part, most of your properties will grow at the average thereabouts year on year on year on year. And then you'll have periods where they go boom. Yeah. You'll also have periods where they drop, So it's not about any individual property making money all the time, but as a portfolio, you should be able to change your strategy to meet the market. And when you do that, generally make money. So let's talk about strategy deal hunter. So one of the challenges, this is probably above all else the biggest challenge I see in not just the UK market, any market, is that real estate 101. When I started off as a real estate agent, what was the first thing they taught me? Yeah, they taught me how to sell a property, how to sell a deal. Yeah, in other words, it wasn't just the property, it was the finance, it was the area, it was all the different aspects. And so what ended up happening was my sole focus was on one particular property that I'm selling at this time, at that moment. There was never, and in fact, my entire time as a estate agent, did anyone sit down to me and go, right, Brett, let's talk about portfolio strategy. Let's talk about what your buyers should be doing in terms of strategy. It just doesn't happen. It was all about selling property. And so the extension of that is the whole industry has become so focused on what I call, have I got a deal for you? Yeah. The moment you say, stick your hand up, I'm interested. And whether that be through, clicking on an email, whether that be whatever it is, once you show your interest, they're pitching you deals. And it's like, for me, that's the worst possible approach. That's the deal hunter approach, where literally you just end up deal hunting, and that's all they're doing for you. There's no strategy, there's nothing. And then it's all about the best deal in property. Yeah, it's all about showing you that their deal is better than the other person's deal. Well, the reality is I can make any deal look fantastic enough so an investor buys it. Yeah, but that doesn't mean that I should, and that doesn't mean that I do. Unfortunately, a lot of companies out there, that's exactly what they do. They base, and I've seen it many times, they base their investment decisions based on how much commission they make, or they base their investment decisions on how much commission they make and how little you have to put into the deal, or how risk-free they can make the deal look. That's all part of deal hunting. That's not what you want. That's a recipe for disaster. And yes, you might get a property that is great and fantastic and makes you money. You're lucky, yeah? But what we do is the alternative, which is strategize. Yeah, so we're strategists. And what do I mean by strategists? I mean that before we even talk property, we talk strategy. We talk about what are your goals? Yeah, what do you want to achieve out there? Where are you starting from? Let's look at the best way to get you there in the current market, and then let's look at how we can review your strategy over a period so that basically we adjust the strategy to meet the market. That's a strategist. Now notice, I've not even talked about property yet, yeah? Because we go through all that before we then start pitching you property, which is what most deal hunters do. They move straight in for the pitch, yeah? Why? Because have I got a deal for you, yeah? And it's just ridiculous. It is, it is ridiculous, So get that strategy in place, strategize, strategize. If you don't have a strategy, then you better spend some time on my website, reading all the articles about strategy. There's hundreds of them. I write about this stuff all the time. This is the key thing that I'm passionate about when it comes to property. For me, property is property. When I flush the toilet, in the northern hemisphere it goes down this way, in the southern hemisphere it goes down that way. It's all the same. Yeah, doesn't matter if you're in the northern hemisphere that way, southern hemisphere this way. There's no difference. Door handles, they all work the same. You pull them down or turn the handle and the door opens. They lock the same. Property is all the same irrespective of where you go in the world. what the difference that makes is, and what I'm passionate about, is the strategization of your portfolio, making sure that you can have time to live your life. And that's the real thing that I'm passionate about, because it's the strategy which gets you there. Yeah, it's not about the property. Yes, great, one property here, fantastic, gone up 30% this year. Oh, that's an amazing investment. But you know what? Then for the next 10 years, it's not going to do a lot. This is all properties that follow the same general structure, where they up and they down and they up and they down and they sit around for a while and they, all that sort of stuff. So they don't necessarily do exactly that. So speak to them or read about my property trend cycle if you want to know what they do. But bottom line is, guys, strategizing is much more important than deal hunting. Get the strategy right, then you can deal hunt it, and that will give you the rules that apply to your game, so you can buy the best investment for your strategy and the market at the present time. Okay, so hopefully, it's a bit of a gospel, what do they call it? Not a gospel, a bit of a preaching session. But I think it's really important to understand the difference between deal hunting and strategizing. All right, guys, have a great day, live with passion, and I'll speak real soon. Remember to subscribe and comment down below, and I'm happy to answer any questions you've got. See ya, bye.